YouTube, Mike Vanderpool here again with another running vest review. This time I've got the Salomon Advanced Skin 12 for 12 liter. This also comes in a 5, which I do own last year's version. Overall, I really like this vest, and I just want to go through some of the features, what I find useful, and a little bit of the benefits and features of this vest. So first of all, this ships with two soft flasks. These are made by Hydro Pack. They're also 500 milliliter. Really nice. I like them a lot. It's blowing them up with air right now, but obviously they have water. 500 milliliters, and they have a place for them in these bladder holders or flask holders. Again, these are just soft, stretchy material like you'll see all over this pack. They have one on each side. They also have this ring where you can wrap it around the nozzle to keep it secure. I'm going to go ahead and take them out just for the demonstration purposes for this video. So again, I like the soft flasks. They're smaller than some of the other ones on the market, meaning they're a bit narrower and longer, and I happen to like that. The only thing I don't like about these flasks is smaller opening. So on the Ultimate Direction pack, they'd also used Hydro Pack's soft flask. They're made a little bit differently with a wider mouth, which I find easier to get stuff in there, nutrition, you know, caffeine powder, whatever you may have. Good and bad to these. So once again, we have two front pockets here, or the flask holders, again made out of very stretchy material. Down below that, we have bigger, what I call kind of like kangaroo pouches, but you can see I've got my phone in here right now, and you are able to access this on the run, and you can reach back and stuff these. These, once again, are very stretchy, so you can put a lot of stuff in there. So right now, I have my phone in there. On this side, you also, above here, you have just a little pocket, and it's stretchy. So again, you have a little tiny pocket, then you'll have your soft flask pocket, and then down below that, you have the kangaroo pocket, which goes back a little bit, a little ways. So, you know, I have some more nutrition, some dates in there. On the other side, you'll notice that you actually have a zippered pocket on top. Again, a little bit harder to see, black, but I can open it up, and it's just like enough to put a gel in, but it too is stretchy, but it's just zippered. So, you know, you might put your keys in there. Again, I usually put gels or something like that just to hold them and zip them up. We talked about this down below that pocket. Again, you have your soft flask pocket where your soft flask goes in. This secures the nozzle. And then on the other side, we have another kangaroo pocket. So like I have my keys in here for now, and let's see, I think a buff. And you can access these on the run. And again, they're pretty stretchy. They have a lot of space in them, and you can put a lot of different things in them. So as far as that goes, those are the pockets on the front. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other features it has. If you notice up top here, you have these strings right here where you can actually pull this and use these buckles. And on this side, you can see it. You can use these buckles to pull it back. And what that does is it lifts the load up, so they're more like load lifters if you have a lot in the pack. This pack can carry a lot. You know, I probably average, you know, anywhere from 3 to, if I'm real heavy, 7 pounds. And this pack carries it right, pretty nice, and a little bit of bouncing, but not a whole lot, because of the way that Salomon uses the SensiFit fabric to compress everything against your body. But we'll talk about that a little bit later once I get to the back. So you have these load compression straps. The other thing you'll notice is on this side, you have Salomon's, what they call their 4D carrying system for trekking poles. Now I'll show you how that works. I have my trekking poles here. And what you're going to do is, on the side here, you can see there's a loop. So you'll just take your trekking pole and slide that down here. And then it's designed to wrap around your back. Once you go around the back, then you can take the 4D loop here. Let me get it out of its actual loop and wrap it around your poles. So basically, once you get that done, they will sit on your back. If I can get it through here. As you can tell, I don't use this often because these poles actually collapse, but you'll see they just sit diagonally on the back of your pack, and the idea is then you can, you know, get at them pretty quickly, undo this, and go on your way. Now with these poles in particular, get these out, they break down. So they're the black diamond poles that break down, and I don't really need to carry them like that across my back. So you'll notice here, these break down quite small, and I usually just slide them in the back there and get to them. So depending on what type of trekking poles you have, you can use that system. The clasps on the front, they made an improvement this year. Again, they're using a lot of these buckle clasps, I'll call them. See if you can see them there. But they slide up and down. They used to have it sewn in on one side of this pack, which and tied off like somewhat you see here, which was just a little bit cumbersome. So now they have one tie point, and they have one way to easily adjust it. You used to have to adjust it by pulling these. What I like about that is I can adjust it on the fly here very easily, so it is an improvement from last year. And once I get them done, I can easily, loosen them and take them off. So what you'll see on the bottom here is, again, one buckle area and one tied into the pack on the right side. And then you have multiple options here of little loops that you plug into. Now, very difficult to do on a run, so once you get it there, I think what they did, instead of having to take this off and adjust it and everything else, they used a buckle clasps to make it a bit easier to get on and off, but also to adjust on the fly. I think that Ultimate Direction has an edge here on their system because they actually have hard clasps. I know it adds some weight, but really on the run, to try to get this into these little stringed areas is oftentimes very cumbersome, and you have to stop. Might not be a big deal, especially with the buckle clasp, so you can adjust, so you don't really need to take it off much. But if you're someone that stops to rest, wants to take your pack off, or adjust it on the run, I think you might have a little bit of issue there with these hooking into just like these little tiny little rope clasps, loops that you hook the clasp into. So you have them on both sides. It gives you a lot of different options. So if I don't want to put it down here, I can put it up here. So I do like that fact that you can actually figure out what the best fit is for you. Now in terms of fit, I am an extra large in Salomon. In Ultimate Direction, I'm a medium. And most of these products, these come in small, I think actually extra small, small, medium large, and extra large. I believe that's their sizing, I'm not sure. But anyways, I have to go for the extra large. Again, I'm 6'2", about 200 pounds, bigger guy, but I do need the extra large to fit my body type. In the Ultimate Direction, that's a medium. So if that gives you any indication of what sizing you need for someone that is my body size, which is 6'2", 200 pounds. So the sizing, extra large, fits quite nice. I don't really notice extra material or anything else. It's a really light pack that's designed to fit well with the Sensi fit and hug your body, and I think it does that well. So let's go ahead and talk about the back. The back, it's got a main big compartment here that you access, and it's very stretchy, and you access through a zipper, and we'll go through that. It's got this bottom pouch, so it's like on the back, kind of like a kangaroo pouch. Those that I'm calling kangaroo pouches, I guess they're not because they don't go all the way through, but I don't know the word for them, so we'll call them that as well. But we'll go through I have some things in here, we won't go through that. You can see that on other videos, but just so you can see the compartments. So you have a back compartment that's zipper accessible. You have this main big kangaroo pocket down below. You also have some zippered options on the side here. So you have the kangaroo pocket right here, but on the sides of the pack, and again, you can see what that is, you actually have some zippered areas that you can store. And they're a smaller pocket, but again, it's nice that they're zippered. And you have that on both sides. So again, what I do like about this is, and I got some toilet paper in here, is that they do have some zippered options. And again, that's right by what we were calling the kangaroo pocket, which is nice and big. You can see on the front of the access to vest. Then you have the zipper, which kind of goes behind the big kangaroo pocket. And you have this pocket. Now you'll notice this sticking out. I'm going to get rid of this because it's annoying. I don't use bladders, as many of you know. This comes with it, basically just an insulation if you want to put your bladder in. Now the bladder pocket sits on the inside of the vest against your back, and on the outside of the big main pocket. So again, much like some other Salomon vests I reviewed, the bladder sits against your body, which I don't use bladders, so I can't comment on. I just don't know how that would feel. And again, this does get quite sweaty, this material. It's more of like a mesh cushioned mesh than something like the Sense Fit fabric. That's just like a mesh that stretches and is much more lightweight. It does have an area to hang your bladder and then a clasp here to connect that. So I suppose if you're not using a bladder, you can put some stuff in there. I typically put like a little tiny odor-free trash bag in there for sweat, and then also to collect my trash. So back to the back. Again, we have our main compartment, and we have our bottom compartment. Now I'm just going to take this out. This is my tent, and I should have my sleeping pad in here. And there might be some other stuff in here. Straps for my hammock. But again, this is that pack that held, this is the pouch that held all that. So this is on the back, and it's got this big, massive, stretchy area. Now this is the main difference between the 5 and the 12, is this area right here is much shorter. So instead of being this high, you have about half the volume. And this just snugs around your hips, which I like, coming from a backpacking background. Kind of sits on the back of your lower back, which is really nice. And I can put a lot of stuff in here. Again, my tent, tree straps, hammock, and my sleeping pad can all go in this back kangaroo pouch. So very nice there. Last part of this pack is the main compartment. Again, this is zippered. On the 5, you do have a stretchy pack, which I find you can, a pouch that you can fit a lot into. That one's top accessible and does not have the zipper. So that's nice, spreads out, you can fit a lot in there, but it's not as secure as this. So we have a zipper here, which means you probably, I mean, you're not gonna be able to reach that anyway. Some people that are flexible might be able to reach it. I should put that disclaimer. I'm not one of those people. So again, I won't go through all this stuff, but you can see how much stuff I'm pulling out of here. And there's just tons of room in here. They can stretch and stretch and stretch. So a lot of time you'll see ultra runners using this and it will just be packed full of stuff. But again, this stuff swallows up all the stuff I need. And again, I'm looking for a pack that I can do longer runs, self-supported runs, and also a pack that I could possibly take on a 1 to 2 day trip. So between, I'll be using this one, which is the 12. I'll also be using the Ultimate Direction, which I did a review on, which was the AK 3.0 Mountain Vest new this year. Same in AK's line, just the 3.0. So between these two vests, you know, I think there's some advantages and disadvantages. I like the Ultimate Direction because it has a bit more pockets. I find those pockets a little bit easier to get at, and up front, it just gives me, those pockets are a little bit bigger. Here, although we have this larger stretch pocket, bladder pocket, made some really small pockets up top, I just think the organization with the Ultimate Direction was a little bit better. The fit, honestly, I like the fit on this one a little bit better. The Sense Fit fabric hugs your body, and the amount of stretch this stuff has while still retaining that tension is pretty amazing. So you can fit a lot of stuff into this pack. So between the two, I think this edges out a little bit on comfort. Now, in the fit, along with comfort and fit, the fit, because of that material hugs me, I think this fits a little bit better and more snug. Although the bounce on it is probably about equal. I think that it's contained, your load is contained a bit more on the Ultimate Direction. This is stretched out, but it is compressed. So you just have to play with how you're loading this. So there's a little bit more bounce on this if you don't load it right. But there, again, I think it's negligible. You're not going to notice the difference between the two on the bounce. Clasp system, meaning the way it clasps across your chest and fits on you, I would have to give the edge to Ultimate Direction, only because I think those clasps, while it adds some weight, these are within a couple grams of each other. I really like the way that Ultimate Direction has the hard clasps as opposed to using these little hooks, because it's just not as easy to actually get it in and out of the vest itself. So I would give the edge there the way that system works. I don't like the trekking pole system on this. Mine break down. Even on the ones I don't break down, I just don't find them. They're a little bit harder to get out. Now, I think with the Ultimate Direction, they actually place them right here on the sides of your body, on the sides of the vest. And that's good if you have compact poles like me, carbon fiber poles that break down into thirds. I don't think they'd work for bigger ones, although I have seen some people put them back through this way. So it kind of runs across your body this way and out for your trekking poles. That seems to work for them. But for me, I like the way that Ultimate Direction deals with it. And that might just because I use different trekking poles that break down smaller. But I don't like having these big things on my body and when I'm moving and when I'm running through stuff. A lot of times, you know how it is. You're kind of dancing and prancing through things at times, so that thing tends to get hung up. Yeah, so all in all, I think that I'll give this probably the same score as the Ultimate Direction. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I like this better in the way it fits my body and feels on my body, but I like the Ultimate Direction in the way that the clasp work, the way it carries the load, and the way it has a little bit more organization on the pack itself. And this one giving the edge on fit and feel. So, you know, either one you're going to be happy with. I'm going to take both out. I'll report back. I know how this works. I've only been on a couple runs with the Ultimate Direction and nothing overnight yet since we still have snow here in Tahoe. But once that clears up, I'll be going on a lot of overnight trips and I'll report back how each of these packs held up. Thanks for watching. Again, Mike Vanderpool with a review of the Salomon Advanced Skin 12. Also have the 5. Again, using this for longer running trips or overnight trips, self-supported. Thanks for watching.